I think this has been the promise of digital for a while now, but we are obviously consuming passively. But for brands to create a really strong brand positioning, brand preference, brand love, brand intimacy, that dialogue is more needed. I don't think we've scratched the surface of what this potential is. I really feel, and I'm pushing the teams a lot to explore this more. This is an interesting case, though, that starts showing what the potential is that we've done recently for Burger King. It's the $1 million Whopper contest. It's not a mechanism that's new. It's basically design your own burger, and then if you win, or if you have the most creative one, your burger will be made, or Whopper will be made, and you can actually earn also $1 million. Amazing. But so far, this has always been a pretty flat and static version. What we've done actually is, by the use of AI, made this in a completely different, more interactive and dynamic experience. We've trained the model to really understand what a Whopper looks like, so that whatever input we receive, and you could literally, it's obviously bit censored, but you could add any ingredient, any food-related ingredient on your burger or your Whopper, it shows a real picture of how it could look like, and automatically, in real time. Secondly, what we've done is make sure we skip a pretty clumsy step, which is moderating. And if any one of you have done these type of campaigns, moderation is always a pain for the creative, because it means you have to send and ship some input to a manual process that takes a while, that completely breaks the whole conversation, the whole momentum you've going with your audience. They will receive an email maybe 2 days, 3 days later that it's approved or not, and you lost your interest. Here it was in real time. It immediately kind of moderated what the input was, and you could continue the next step with your audience. So there's a way more focus and time spent with your audience. We created actually more of a voice for the brand, and this was quite interesting. Grillian is his name, is a voice that guides you through the process. So the interface of this starts to change from more of a passive one, where you have to read, to more of a conversational one where you get hints and tips and they guide you through kind of that process. And last but not least, I think what's interesting is just the generative component of it. We were creating personalized assets from this. Whatever your burger was, you would get an ad immediately generated. You could share it out. And it was a big, huge viral success. So it kind of showed for me already sort of the impact of this, because a lot of people start sharing. I'll show a case video for a bit more context.
You're here to make a Whopper. Well, I'm your trusty AI companion, Brilliant. Now, how are you going to top your Whopper? Ooh, now we're talking. That could be $1 million combination. Wow, look at what you've made. No Whopper is complete without a world-class ad. Let's crown your Whopper creation.
This is my Ritmo Whopper, with cotton candy and other toppers, with some gummy bear and licorice in there. Try and top that if you dare.
BK, have it your way. You're wrong.
How are you gonna top it?
For me, the interesting thing is that Grillian, the voice you heard, is now going to be part of their customer support model. So they keep building upon this and want to make it more of the voice for their customers, which I think is a quite interesting way that shows how this could have a longevity to a brand and a brand experience, and what kind of impact it has. Obviously, all the data coming out of this is also and should also be used more in next insights for next campaigns. The last one I want to show, and I don't think we talk enough about it, is that AI actually can help you reach unforeseen craft standards. It makes craft more accessible. I think we're going to see a huge shift in what the output of our combined industry would look like, because it's going to be a level set, and a lot of more interesting, better quality can be achieved in a much easier way. But it also allows us to reach the peaks of what's craft possible in let's call it a faster, more efficient manner. A good example of this where I really saw the potential of it was on a campaign we did for BMW. The iX2 is basically the most advanced technology-driven car in the BMW portfolio, and they wanted to show that off. Normally you look through in these campaigns through the eyes of humans and you see sort of technology in our real world, but we decided to flip the script and use our virtual eyes from little Michaela, virtual influencer, and experience the world through her eyes if she falls in love with the real world because of the car being such a virtual portal, so to speak. The interesting thing what we pulled off here in terms of craft, I think we couldn't have done it without AI. The fact how we brought little Michaela to life, but also for the budgets and the time we had for this, it's quite interesting to see what's possible now. I'll show the film and we go from there. And what I really like about this is that it's not just a film because we have her as the protagonist. She has a whole sort of following and there's a whole activation around this. So it also just takes sort of the passive and the linear into more of an interactive dynamic space again where conversation can happen and can keep happening around the same topic of your brand or your product. So it does evolve and change that human nature, I think, of creativity. How can we make... Just to wrap this up, I think what's really important, how can we make it a partner? What can we do to overcome that anxiety and focus more on the excitement? 3 simple things how we started in the company. I think the first one being a lot of the anxiety and stress comes from a lack of information and knowledge. You don't know what it is, it's scary, it's distant from you. It's just a simple thing. You need to be informed, understand what's happening, do your research, play with it. I must say Twitter or X now is a really good source still for you individually. Go on there to find it out. Every day there's something new on it, and you can get a better understanding. But what we've done in the company is actually turn it into a weekly thing. We've got 50 minutes of AI every Wednesday. We have a stand-up, we start the day, and we share what's happening in the world to all of our people, because we realize this information is so crucial for us to get over that barrier and get us excited. We talk about what's happening in the world, because obviously every week there's a new thing happened or new launch. AI implemented is how we actually talk about and do our own work internally. How do people use it, get inspiration, and maybe a bit of jealousy going, because that's also good for that transformation.